Namaskar and welcome to StudyIQ. I am your friend Rahul Saigaon. The agenda for today's discussion is connected with electronic sector. Recently, the government of India has announced that they are going to create a new import management system for IT hardware products. In this lecture, we are going to understand this news comprehensively. In fact, I would say this discussion is a continuation of another interaction that we had in August 2023. In August, the government decided to restrict import of laptops, tablets, and personal computers. The restrictions were supposed to begin from 1st November 2023, and weeks before that date, the government has tweaked rules again, and now they're saying that they are going to bring import management system here. In this video lecture, we'll understand what is this import management system, why the government is bringing this, and why this IMS makes sense rather than radical steps like complete ban on imports or restricting imports from other countries. Along with it, you'll also get very interesting information connected with electronics sector. To get to know all this information, stay with me till the very end. All right, let's begin. In fact, let's begin with the background itself. As I told you, in August 2023, to be precise, on August 3rd, 2023, the government amended the import policy, and they suggested that items coming under HSN 8471, the Harmonized System of Nomenclature 8471, that is laptops, tablets, all-in-one personal computers, ultra-small computers and servers, now they would be under restricted category. Earlier, people were free to import. That means individual buyers can still buy it, but people who are selling it in India, they were free to import it in any number, in any quantity, etc. But now that would be restricted. Please remember, it is not completely banned, or it was not completely banned. People who used to import, or companies which used to import, they were supposed to get a license. Now, this was announced on August 3rd. There was a lot of hue and cry in the market because this is a protectionist measure by the government of India, where they are saying we are now restricting the import of laptops, etc. The very next day, after the market reaction, the very next day on August 4, 2023, India delayed the decision by a few months. The very next day on August 4, 2023, amendment was again made, and it was suggested that the restrictions that we announced, they are going to now come from 1st November 2023. All right. So this was the status. Now, please, you need to first remember who takes all these decisions. From Indian side, the import policy is handled through the Ministry of Commerce by the Directorate General of Foreign Trade. Now, this is responsible for the EXIM policy, that is Export-Import Policy of India. This is an attached body which comes with Ministry of Commerce and Industry, very important from MCQ perspective, and it is headed by the Director General of Foreign Trade. One of the objectives of DGFT is to promote exports from India, which makes sense, isn't it? And this takes these decisions. So what happened? First, we said there will be restrictions on import of laptops. The very next day, we said, okay, we have delayed the date to 1st November. Now, 1st November is coming very soon. I would say in another few days, 1.5 weeks, perhaps. So before that, the government has now announced that we are going to bring an import management system for IT hardware. Now, earlier we had licensing. That means in the period of transition from August, September, October, people who used to import, they have already gotten license from the government. Now, this import management system, it would be like a system of authorization, and this authorization shall be valid till next year. All right. So what is this process, or why it has been brought? As I told you, the Modi administration, first on 3rd August, it gave a decision, then there was a flip-flop, and now there is another change where they have said import management system would come, and this will be effective from November 1st. This system shall run till September 30th, 2024. So it will be not exactly a restriction. It would be more of a step of monitoring, or I would say authorization kind of a step, just to monitor the imports that come into India. Now you must be having a question, sir, why this happened, or why the government took this decision? Recently, there was a meeting of WTO on August 16, 2023, and some of India's partners, they raised reservations regarding this step because this was supposed to be implemented from 1st November. Already China was crying foul, but many Indian partners like United States of America and South Korea, they raised concerns with respect to India's decision to impose restrictions on the import of laptop, personal computers, tablets, and many of them come from these countries as well. Yes, large number they come from China and these countries as well. Now, US specifically suggested that this decision by government of India, it is going to have impact on trade of these products and US exports to India as well. South Korea, they mentioned that India's system or India's measures that are being brought from 1st November, they would be unnecessary trade barriers and they would be inconsistent with the WTO rules as well. So due to this, the Indian government has brought now IMS instead of complete restrictions, I would say. Now, what is the meaning of this system? So what is this import management system? The first thing that you need to understand, it is not a restriction. Nobody is going to stop people from importing IT hardware products in India. That means the system shall not deny any import requests. The system simply aims to authorize these imports, meaning we want to monitor from where these IT hardware are coming. So from 1st November, anybody who is importing laptops, tablets, personal computers, say it is Samsung company, Dell company, or any other authorized third-party dealer, etc., whoever is importing these IT products or hardware products, they need to specify with the government that how much quantity and what is the value of the imports that you are importing and from which country. What industry experts suggest is this particular step is to study from where the imports are coming, and probably in future we might look at tweaking in this system as well. It would become some sort of a system where we create trusted geographies. The experts suggest that the ultimate aim of this import management system is to ensure that we create a trusted digital system. Now that means wherever the product is coming from, wherever the equipment is coming from, IT hardware is coming from, that country should be a trusted country. And by now you must have already gauged this, that the indication is towards China, isn't it? Right. Now, when you look at this particular system, the IMS, there is a template for this as well. In June 2021, the Department of Telecommunication, the central government Department of Telecommunication, they brought a security directive for telecommunications. Now, you do know that we are slowly and steadily moving from 4G to 5G, correct? So 5G connectivity is there in many of the urban areas. So since we are moving towards 5G, what the telecom directive said was, for all the 5G equipments that people are bringing, people means the telecom companies and the other people who are associated with telecommunication, all the equipments that you bring, they must be from the trusted telecom portal. And in this trusted telecom portal, the countries from which it is imported, or the companies from which is imported, they would be given a trusted tag. And in that directive, Chinese companies like Huawei and ZTE, they were not given a trusted tag. So by now you would have assessed that this, in which direction this is going. Now you must be thinking, sir, is it just because of China? To a large extent, yes, China is a factor, because if we look at the electronics imports in India, electronic goods imports in India, the amount is quite huge. But the contribution of the Chinese itself, if you look at the numbers in red, in 2019-2020, almost $3,000 million. If you see the numbers, $4,000 million, $6,000, $5,000 million, till last year, till last fiscal, it was almost $5,000 million from China itself. Yes, China is one of the reasons, but is it just China? No, we want to continuously monitor from where the imports are coming. We want to establish the rules of origin. Now, you do understand that there are certain geographies, certain countries which try to turn the electronic equipment not from China. They import from China and then they try to export somewhere else. We want to establish the rules of origin as well. So we import, say, from many ASEAN countries as well. Vietnam is there, Malaysia is there, China is there, so many countries from where we import electronics items. Apart from that, there is US, South Korea, there is Japan, there is Taiwan. So what we want to do is we want to establish from which geographies what kind of IT hardware is getting imported into India. Now, this is not just the only reason. The bigger reason, or I would say the macro reason, is this, because eventually we want to become Atmanirbhar in electronic sector. And for that, the government is working. What we have done is we have brought so many things. Why we should become Atmanirbhar as well? The government has been suggesting that if we become Atmanirbhar, first we'll achieve our target under the national policy of electronics. We will reduce our dependence on China. Yes, we will save a lot of money. We will save a lot of dollars if we ourselves produce the electronic equipments. That means if we create electronic clusters, electronic parks, good electronic manufacturing ecosystem in India, then we will save a lot of forex. We will create jobs here. We will promote R&D in India. Ultimately, we will become self-sufficient. And it's not one decision that we are now monitoring. There are a slew of measures which have been coming from the government from almost, I would say, 5-6 years now. In 2019, National Policy on Electronics came. There are different schemes running for electronics, like the PLI scheme, the large scale electronic manufacturing scheme. There is SPEC scheme going on. There is electronic manufacturing cluster scheme going on. Semicon was announced recently. This is a huge scheme where India wants to create semiconductor foundries in India, and the outlay for this has been $10 billion. Huge amount of support is coming from government of India, and it has yielded result as well. Now you do understand the iPhones are getting assembled in India. Many phones are getting assembled in India. The factory in Tamil Nadu, the factory in Karnataka, right now the I in iPhone, people are equating with India phone, right? So you do know that. So apart from that, 100% FDI is allowed. We have created cluster schemes. We have created electronics development fund. So many steps have come. So in line with this, first of all, we want to promote our own industry. Now, if we want to make our industry competitive, we need to put certain restrictions on import for sure. Yes, within the boundaries or within the bounds of WTO engagement, within the bounds of WTO agreements that we have. So in this sense, why creating a trusted sources, why does it make sense? Why does it make sense? See, first of all, if we go for a blanket ban or complete restriction of import, that would be protectionist. We are bound to be challenged at WTO. This has already happened because India has already lost the solar cell case at the WTO. India has lost recently the ICT, the information and communication imports duty, which was imposed a few years back. India lost the case. India has said that we will appeal at the WTO. But why this makes sense? Yes, India cites security as a measure for these protectionist steps that we take. But creating a trusted source or trusted geography, it makes sense, especially in electronic sector. Do you know why? Yes, we are bringing so many things. We are bringing so many schemes. We are giving a lot of funding. Yes, but an electronic equipment, say for a mobile or a computer, etc., it needs products from varied production centers. For India to become a complete manufacturing hub end to end, when I say end to end, everything includes. See, for example, if I want to create a laptop, say if I want to simply assemble a desktop, what do I need? I need a cabinet. Inside, I need a motherboard. I need a memory. I need a graphics card. I need all these things, a cooler, etc. Okay, so more than 20 equipments are needed in which I assemble and I create my desktop. Same thing for laptop, right? You need a screen, you need battery, you need all these things. So right now, you do understand that India does not have this capability. End-to-end capability, we do not have. And it might take decades for this end-to-end capability as well. So what makes sense for us? Yes, we produce certain parts, we produce certain electronic equipment, and we need to import equipment from other countries as well. But what I want now, or what the government is doing now, is they are creating a trusted geography system where imports from those countries probably will not have large restrictions. What we want to do is create a trusted digital system or trusted digital ecosystem in India. And where does it start? It starts from your devices. And if your devices and the equipments coming there are from a non-trusted geography, then there is always a threat of compromise, especially for the systems, laptops, etc., that are used in the government agencies with the government itself. That is why this makes sense. We need trusted sources from which we have to import, because security is very, very important. We are turning digital. We have in fact turned digital. Now, when you turn digital, the vulnerability also exponentially rises. Now, to reduce this, we need to create trusted sources, trusted geographies, trusted companies from which we import and then eventually assemble. The same thing happens even in mobiles now. For example, With respect to iPhones, yes, it is now iPhone is equal to India phone, but India does not produce all the parts. Now you do understand, even the outside case of an iPhone, it comes from some other country. So what we do is we assemble. So if we create a trusted geography, the entire product would be much more secure, and we as Digital India would be much more secure. That is why this system. All right. Right. So I hope you have gotten the idea of the import management system and why it is coming and what can we expect in future. So this is a very important topic from exam perspective. A question can be created for mains on the electronic sector, which is an upcoming sector. The government has focused on it. There are so many targets that we have created, and any update on this, it becomes imperative for us to be focused on, to be studied. If there is any discussion, any other news on this, we'll have a interaction again on StudyIQ for sure. But that's it right now in this video. Before I go, StudyIQ's P2I program, batch 2 is starting in a couple of days on October 23rd. This is the most comprehensive batch available for UPSC civil services preparation. We will be hand-holding you through prelims, mains, interview, all the stages. If you're preparing for 2024, valid. 2025, valid. 2026, it's valid depending on your preparation level, where you stand. If you're in college, if you're a working professional, say, for any of those people, just go to our website. You'll get different selections, say silver, gold, platinum, in terms of validity, in terms of teaching and content delivery as well. Go there, enroll. I'll see you in the class. Thank you for watching, and Jai Hind.